Hi everyone! I wanted to do a comparison between Mighty Rosie here, my 2026 Winnebago Ekko on a Sprinter chassis, and Big Betsy, my previous Winnebago Ekko, which was a 2025. I'm doing this mostly for people who might be interested in buying a used rig and they wonder if it's worth waiting for a 2026. And let's start by saying that I've had a lot of campers, and all campers that I've had issues initially that had to be fixed. A lot of people complain about these Ekkos having a lot of problems and a lot of things that need to be fixed. And but truth is, they are very complex rigs, and things go wrong in complex things, and it takes a little bit of time to just get all those things sorted out. And so all these rigs that I've owned all had problems at the beginning, and I would like to say, crossing fingers, that Mighty Rosie is the first campers that I've had that had no issues. Big Betsy, my 2025, had quite a few problems. The heating wasn't duct properly, so I had to be rerouted. I spent a lot of time in the shop doing that. There was a faulty solar panel. Like I said, she's great so far. I've been camping and traveling with it for the past 2 weeks. I'm now in beautiful Oregon. And so I am very happy so far. And let's go and check out all the minor differences, I guess. But there are big differences on the inside that are not noticeable. I am in busy and loud and rainy Seattle, and I came to pick up my stuff from Big Betsy. She's there in the back, and she is my 2025 Winnebago Ekko, and I am now with my 2026 Winnebago Ekko. Big Betsy caught on fire, and I am going to go through the difference between the two, because there are some that I think a lot of you guys might be interested in knowing. So I'm going to start on the outside, and then I will be going to the inside. So let's start and let's get going. To me, like, the greatest thing between the two, and it's the paint job. This is Big Betsy, and the paint job was very, very sloppy. And they left the white, the original color of the Sprinter that they worked on. And so you have this kind of weird white and gray situation here. The other thing with the paint job is that it kind of started chipping very quickly. And as you can see, it just got damaged very, very quickly. So we'll see on the 2026 how it will do, but I'll show you the 2026, and much better. You know, it's just like such a cleaner look. It really drove me crazy that Big Betsy had the white from the cargo van that they worked on. So that's, to me, it's probably like the greatest upgrade. And then I want to talk about the tires. As you can see, in the 2026, they've changed the tires and the rims. Now they are Goodrich KO3s, and the rim is now a Winnebago rim. And the size has also changed of the Goodrich. It's a 245/75 R16. They're just a little bit wider and just a little bit beefier than in the 2025. I personally liked the skinnier profile on the 2025. Big Betsy in the snow was an absolute beast. I think the 215/85 R16s are better snow tires because they don't float. And maybe also the Hankook A2 Extremes might be also good snow tires. But as you can see here, also the rims are different. They're the Method rims, and I personally like the look of these Methods versus the Winnebago ones. But these are the main differences between the two. The 245 will be probably better Baja tires because on the sand they will float more, and the 215 will be better Montana tires for the winter because they will not float as much. It's always a compromise. You can't just have it all. So here's a big upgrade. So this is Big Betsy 2025 latches, and they were not great. I did not love these latches. They were hard to open, hard to close. And let's check out the new latches, which is, to me, is probably really a great upgrade. So they've got a little bit of a ridge here, so you can actually grab them. They're very smooth when you open them, and so I really do like the way the latches work. The back of the latch is the same, but so really happy with this upgrade, that's for sure. And then while we're here, the next upgrade is the rear sensor, and they made them just a little bit slicker. They don't stick out as much as Big Betsy, which you can see out here how much more these stick out, and I really did not like that. I like more that slick look of the 2026. And so that's all the changes on the outside. Big Betsy, I'll go from the front, but Big Betsy has a 6.3 Van Compass lift, and I will not do a 6.3 on Mighty Sue because I will only do a 4.3 just because it was too much lift, and I think the Achilles heel on these rigs is how tall they are and how easily tippable they are. And we've had issues where we almost tipped them. So here we go, the difference between the two, and now we're gonna go on the inside and check out the difference on the inside, which are not as much. Here we are in the interior of Mighty Rosie, and she doesn't look much different from the 2025, other than maybe the countertop being gray, which I really like. I like having a gray countertop. And then maybe behind the TV there is a protrusion, which I believe when you don't have the entertainment center, it's more storage, which I'm very excited about because I will remove that TV and I will use that as storage. But I think the big changes are on the actual build. It just feels tighter. The drawers open better, they close better, the door doesn't rattle, the banding on the walls seems to be glued on better. I think it took Winnebago a couple of years to refine the build of this rig, and I think now in 2026 it's finally, it just feels tighter in here and just cleaner and better. However, I think the big changes are behind the walls. I had a major issue with Big Betsy. The heater was not properly routed, so I was getting error W27H, which is an overheating error, and the reason is because there was so much ducting that was crushed, and they had to take all the beds out, all the framing out, and they had to reroute the whole system, and then it was actually working properly without getting the error. And I've seen in a lot of Facebook posts of some of the groups, people saying, oh, getting W27H error is normal, is part of the Truma system, and it is not normal. If you're getting error W27H, there's a problem with your system, you're not getting enough airflow. So you might want to address that. Had also, you know, the usual issues with the awning beeping. I had a few, you know, small leaks that had to be addressed, and you know, bunch of things here and there. And so Big Betsy spent a lot of time at the shop before she was dialed down. So took a little while for Winnebago to get it all right, and 2026 this thing has been great, no problems whatsoever, and Super excited about it, not have to take her to the shop. And but the big difference it is the chassis. It's a 2025 chassis, so it is different. I am not sure if it's better. I'm still trying to figure that out, but let's go and check it out. So let's go to the chassis, and the first difference that you will see is the steering wheel. They have redesigned the steering wheel, and they have these knobs. They're kind of like I guess maybe a soft touch knobs, and they don't protrude like the old steering wheel. And I personally don't like it. I find myself kind of like moving around with a thumb, trying to get things to work. Kind of on both sides is the same way, and I'm not getting used to it. Maybe I will. I prefer the old ones, but I'm sure that's a personal preference. And let's see if we can get this thing started. Great. So the big difference now is with connectivity. And what I really like about the new, I guess, connectivity is the fact that I don't have to have a hard connection with my phone. So I kind of had a problem previously with my phone not properly connecting when I was plugged in, but now everything is wireless. And as you can see, my phone right now is not plugged in, but you can see my map. I like to navigate using Google Map, and so I have my phone directly connected. There's also some safety features like the trailer, and apparently a bunch of other safety features that like the lane keep assist. It's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be safer. I don't find it better. I think it's still I still find myself driving and having the thing slam on the brakes, and I think it's still very primitive compared to other systems that I've tried. I mean, like between the Tesla and the Mercedes, it's like, I mean, it's a completely different experience. I think Mercedes has a long ways to go on this technology, but that is a difference, and I really do like this new feature that you can check the tires from your dashboard, the pressure of the tires. And right now it's not working because we are not driving, but you go to service and then you scroll down to tires and click on that, and you will see your tires showing up here. I'll try to get some videos while I'm driving, but so those are the main differences. And they have also added a front camera that I believe that is part of the new safety features. And then I also believe that they've added some padding and some fire protection on the motor, which is kind of nice, and especially after having had my fire issues, and I'll be talking more about it in my part 2 of Sprinters on Fire. So the thing that I forgot to mention is that my 2025 had a gap right between the house and the chassis, and you could see light through it. There was a pretty considerable gap, and Winnebago instructed the service center to just screw in that section and then fill in with foam the rest of the gap that didn't close. And it didn't really, I don't feel like the screwing in really worked, so I basically had a gap that was filled with foam, which I was not very thrilled about. It is not that way on the 2026. As you can see, it's nice and tight, and so that was nice. It was nice to see that. So that's about it. In conclusion, if you are looking for a used rig, it might be worth waiting and getting a 2026, because I feel like they've worked out all the quirks. And however, that sun is terrible. Let me turn around the camera. However, if you have a 2024 or a 2025, I don't think it really matters. I don't think you need to upgrade. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's useful, and make sure to subscribe if you like the content, and we'll see you next.